Mr. Abhay Deshpande, founder and CEO of Majak. 17 years of long journey in e-commerce sector, and acquisition of Majak by Capillary is a success story worth knowing for all of us. Now let's hear the whole story from him himself. Can I request Mr. Abhay Deshpande to come onto the dais?
It's really good to see such a nice crowd in Hyderabad for a startup event. So before I start my presentation, I would like to just understand how many of you have really started already, or the companies are already started and running. So how many of you are already running a startup? Can you raise hands? Quite a good number. How many of you have raised the VC money? So I have somebody from the first row, funny. How many got rejected by the VCs? Rejection is also looks like a less number here. Nobody has approached VCs yet? Is it? Right. So I will add VCs and angels. So how many of you got rejected by VCs and angels? Okay. So I'm going to share few learnings of my 17 years of journey in e-commerce and as an entrepreneur, and more going to talk about rejections and I think what I learned from the rejections which I got in the last 17 years. So I call my journey as like the rejections actually give me a lot of learning, and I talk about the power of rejections which I have got in last 17 years. So brief about me. I think one amongst you hail from a family which has never done business. My father was a government servant, a middle class family. MBA I learned from rejections which I got in last 17 years. I just did my engineering in computer science. What I did in last 18 years is just e-commerce. I really don't understand any other business. I started in 1998 and till today doing e-commerce. Earlier I used to do e-commerce directly, but now last 7-8 years we have started enabling people to do e-commerce. So what I understand is just e-commerce and e-commerce. Failed entrepreneur, failed in my first venture which I started in 98, closed it in 2005-06. So one failure and success, which so-called success, what we call it as. Brief about my college. I did my engineering from a small college in Maharashtra. There is a college called HGGS College. It's a government college. So we used to have two labs, Lab A and Lab B. I'm a computer science engineer. So, and there was a canteen, that's a C lab which we used to call. So I used to spend 70% of my time in C lab, very few hours in the A and B lab practically. Learn more in the C lab than the actually A and B lab, frankly speaking, because I really learned how to build relationships, how to build contacts, how to build, but not much from the academic perspective. We used to have 45 marts, dress marts every year in engineering. So I was the best. I used to manage those marts very well so that every mark is utilized to get to the next year, right? You can use those 45 marks on different subject to get 40 and get passed. So actually that also gave me some learning that how to manage the limited funds which you have in your business. And in the final year, suddenly I got a good rank. I was the 8th ranker in the university, which was a surprise to many of our professors. So my journey started from Web 1.0, then the dotcom crash, and then the Web 2.0, what we call it today. So I started my first company in 1998. The company used to be called as Malamal.com. It was a e-commerce B2C portal. It started from Hyderabad. I think might be amongst first few e-commerce companies in this country. People were not even aware about the internet those days. Getting the internet connection used to be like 3,000 rupees for 100 hours and 3 months waiting period and all that stuff. So that is the period we started this company. The business model was wonderful on the Excel sheet. We prepared a business model. I remember I still have that business model. Our GME was supposed to be almost $1 billion in 2002 itself. So we started in 1998, and I thank Microsoft for creating such a wonderful tool This is very helpful for the entrepreneurs to really show the big dream to the investors, as well as to feel happy inside also that we're working on such a large business. So we created a business plan in 98. I went to the investors and we could get some funding there, but the business plan, as per the plan, it was supposed to be $1 billion business by 2002, but whole India's e-commerce was not even 100 million that time by 2002, 2003. But we got some angel funding, we raised some first round of funding in this company. But then again 2000, we did a lot of innovation disruptions during that period because we had limited funds, 1 crore rupee funding, the first angel funding, and then some more money came in. But by the time we did some Rakhi and some innovations in the Indian context, which actually gave us a good connect with the consumers. But the real market was not ready. If you ask me 98, 99, the India was not ready for e-commerce. Credit card penetration was almost zero. Logistic companies were not ready for e-commerce. So we were pretty 8 to 10 years ahead of the time. Frankly, we should have started Malamal in 2004 or 2005 that we started in 1998. But still, as an entrepreneur, you feel that something might happen. But then 2000, again, the dotcom burst happened, and that was a tough period for us. So few learnings as entrepreneurs in my first venture, which I ran from Malamal from 1998 to 2005. The end result was we couldn't become Malamal from the monetary perspective. Malamal nahi bane, but from the knowledge, from the e-commerce understanding point of view, we really learned a lot. So I say we became Malamal from the e-commerce knowledge perspective, not from the monetary perspective. Few learnings which I got from my first ventures, first 8 years. You need to be at the right place at the right time. So as I said, I started almost 8 to 9 years ahead of the time. That was not the perfect time to start an e-commerce company. Hire a right talent. That was another big learning I had, because all my hiring in my first venture was either my friends, my relatives, my cousins, 25% at least. And I thought I will build a world-class company, a global company on base of these people. But then I realized that until unless you have a right talent, a talent which can really understand your vision and work with you, you cannot build a large-scale company with this kind of talent. So you need to really hire a right talent. Even if don't hire 10 people, if you have a requirement of 10, hire 4, but hire right talent. Starting team, the founding team is a very, very important factor. And unfortunately, in my first company, I was the single man army. I started it and I didn't have a very strong founding team. So I learned that if you really wanted to make it big, you need to have a good co-founders, good team around you to really build it large. You can't alone building it will be not that easy. This is my team of Martjack. We'll talk about them. So this is the founding team which we started Martjack together. Learn to say no. That is another thing which, so we had, when I started Malamal, we had one of the company from Bombay come in and offering us a very good exit offer. Like it was almost a $4 million, 25 crore rupees offer to buy our company. But we said no to that. And there were some other reasons behind it, because the intent of the buyer were not really clear, and the company was very small, like it was 35 lakhs GMV, and we got an offer of 25 crores. And after that, I remember no one gave us even a 50 lakh rupees offer for next 7 years. So sometimes we used to feel that, what did we take the right decision or not? But then if you look at now, I feel that if we would have sold that, this story would not have got created. So, and that time we felt that was not the right partner for us to sell. So we took a decision. So we need to really learn to say no. The another learning that you need to really manage the investor expectations with your conviction. So during the Malamal days, I remember many of my investors used to say, Abhay, let's open offline stores. Let's open a store in Bombay, let's open a store in Delhi, and that might scale. But the online anyway, people are not buying yet. But and we'll fund you more. But I really felt that if I am not made for the retail business at the brick and mortar space, I really want to build something which is scalable. So we said no. There are some we had where the people were ready to invest if we would have gone offline, but we were not comfortable. So we actually said no and didn't take that money from them. So we really manage the future investors or existing investors' expectations with your conviction. So those 7 years of 98 to 2005 was the early days of e-commerce, and we really learned a lot how exactly the whole consumer behavior on the digital space is happening, how consumers are buying. Based on those learnings, then 2005, 2006 was a period where we started thinking that can we build a platform, because by then a lot of these retailers, brands like Polarity, Karachi's, these guys started talking to us and they were started thinking of having their own store. So we realized that there might be, and that is a period where in the next 10 years, we're going to see a real e-commerce boom in this country. In that scenario, knowing the Indian retailers or Indian brands who are not tech savvy, who don't understand technology, who feel that technology is not for them, we built something. And that is where the whole idea of MartJack came in. And the MartJack as a company was formed in 2007. So I think we pivoted from a consumer business to a B2B business, a software business in 2007. So we closed MartJack, in fact, completely closed, and started a new company in 2007. This was again a journey with a small office in Krishna Plaza, Khairatabad. We still have that office. We kept that office with us. It's a 400 square feet office with three people team, because we had 60 people team in Malamal, but subsequently we had to let go most of them because we were not in a position to really take care of them. An old scooter and 3.5 crores liability personally on me and the company. That's where we started. And as I said, I'm a son of a government servant, so we never had any financial liberty to really pay off that from our own earnings. So we just said, let us continue, and that's on that basis this company was formed. And a dream to really build a large software/SaaS business from this country. So just to give you an idea about what we built and what MartJack is. So MartJack is an e-commerce platform, and it has been the largest e-commerce platform from India, Middle East and Southeast Asia. I can say India and Middle East with confidence, because these are the two places where we have a large customer base. Around 175 people when we exited, when we got acquired last year, we were 175 people team. Around 2,000 brands used our service platform. 250 enterprise customers. We raised around 7 million, so we'll talk about it. So a couple of clients, if you look at global clients like Walmart, Future Group, Pizza Hut, all these guys use our technology and platform from MartJack. So MartJack was when we started in 2007, I think, again the SaaS was an unknown word. So when we started in 1998, Malamal.com, e-commerce was the unknown word. When we started MartJack, again the SaaS was not known. Most of us knows that SaaS bhi kabhi bahut hi wala SaaS. So nobody knew about the real software as a service business. So we started it. It was not easy when we used to go to the retailers and used to tell them, sir, we are providing you a platform where you can create your online store and you have to pay us 5,000 rupees per month. The reaction used to be that, why should I pay you 5,000 rupees per month, right? First of all, in this country where the Microsoft CD is available for 100 rupees, people don't feel for paying for the software. So it was very tough convincing people for SaaS, monthly model, and very, very difficult. So being the first SaaS player almost in the country, we went through a lot of pains that telling them, a lot of people we met, they said, take this 1 lakh rupees, no monthly, I don't understand this. I remember one of the initial customer from Hyderabad, I will share that story. Somebody from Malakpet, who signed up with us, and our sales guy went and sold a package to him, some 8,000 rupees per month. He gave the check of 24,000 rupees and he came back, signed up, the form is filled. And next day morning we found his clerk or office boy in our office. They said, sir, I'm here because I wanted to collect a source code. He said, please give me a CD. My boss has asked me to go and collect a source code because he has bought the software. I said, about 24,000 rupees, you want the whole source, 8,000 rupees per month. So that was the understanding. One of the client from Delhi who was doing good business with us online, one fine day we found that his store was under maintenance. He put a board on the website that under maintenance or something. So our guys, customer support guys, got what happened. So they called him. So the guy said, boss, he's from Delhi, so he used to have an offline store and online store. They said, I'm on vacations for 3 days. I'm in Mussoorie. So I closed my offline store and I closed my online store also. So that was the understanding of the retail when we started MartJack. And people were like, they used to sign up, but then monthly when they used to get invoice of 5,000 rupees, they said, why am I paying you? Because until and you are not providing me any service, your software is already ready, why are you charging us? That was the fundamental question. Then we realized that India is not the country for software as a service, it's a country for software and a service. So people understand software and a service, they don't understand purely software as a service. So we changed the model subsequently, looking at those learnings which we had. This is another thing which was the toughest in our journey. So starting in 2007, we thought we'll build a product, we'll go to the VCs. VCs will give us a grand welcome, they will give us the term sheet, like all the glorified things which are happening in the market by then. And we'll raise 5-10 millions easily and the business will grow pretty fast. But to our surprise, we didn't get any VC investment in the whole of our journey. We ended up raising $7 million for this company. That was a big amount from, if you look at from the angel perspective. And that money was raised from 75 investors. So I had 75 plus investors on my cap table, which many people were like surprised that how can you manage 75 investors. And all the 75 investors invested in those 8 years of the journey. So the company started in May 2007, got acquired in September. It's a 100-month journey. So in 100 months, we have 75 investors plus 15 already exited during the journey. So 90 investors. So almost one investor a month. So it was like people work on daily wages. So we were using the monthly funding. So let's go and raise some money. Because being a product company, if you want to build a product company, it takes 8 years to 9 years for the SaaS business to become profitable and scalable at a scale. You can't build a SaaS business with profitability positioning of 3 to 4 years. You have to keep on investing on the product, you have to keep on investing on the manpower, you have to keep on innovating, then only the business can, and that it needs a lot of money. So 7 million is the money raised from 75 investors. My job, I don't remember after 2009, I really did any other work than just raising money. Thankfully, my founding team was very strong, so I had a very good team. So they could take care of the business, but I was completely focusing on fundraise, go meet investors. I had from 5 lakh rupees to 12 crores, there were different guys. All 42 crore came in 135 tranches. So in 100 months, we got, so almost like every month you have one check coming from the investors. The problem there was that we never had money to plan for more than 3 months. If today I'm sitting and planning a business plan, I never had money more than 90 days. There was a scenario twice or thrice in 9 years where I had money for 3 months. Otherwise it was every month you have to really manage at the month end salaries and all that, so it was tough. Got rejected by the VCs 100 plus times. One VC rejecting 3-4 times. So overall 50 unique VCs. I met every VC in the country, from Sequoia Capital, from Warburg, from everyone, you name it. They know me personally. There was a situation that they became friends. They started sending me the e-commerce business leads which they used to get and take my feedback on that. Yeah, Abhay, what do you think about this business? I said, you're not investing in my business and you're taking feedback on other business from me. So I have gone through that. Every time they went, so we started, we were 5 lakh rupees a month. We went to them, sir, good Abhay, a wonderful team, but we will like to see that, can you go to 20 lakh rupees a month? I said, okay. So then we worked hard for a year or so. We went to 20 lakh rupees. Again went to them. Good, you have done a good job, but let's keep in touch. We have to see that, can it be a 50 lakh rupees a month business? So that continued. Even by the time we reached 2 crore rupees a month, we were hearing the same thing, can you reach $1 million that time? So I think somehow when we start looking at it, why we got rejected, there can be multiple reasons. One of them, I can easily say it was a Hyderabad-based company, and that time the Hyderabad ecosystem was not really great about the startup. And VCs did not have an office in Hyderabad, so that I can say that. The other thing was, we didn't have this tick mark of IIT co-founders, IIM co-founders. We were all passed out from some college in Maharashtra, from a small village, so we didn't have that glamour. Or third thing, what we were not able to impress them, although the numbers were good, but still we were not able to impress them somehow. But the end result is that we got rejected 100 plus times from 50 unique VCs. We got even, that was one of the largest setback for us, that one of the largest global company wanted to acquire us in 2011. And we went through a process, 9 months, And even 100 people from US traveled to India. Everything was done. Our offer letters were given. And just 15 days before the transactions, you get an update from it that the transaction is called off. That was one of the biggest rejection because we were completely prepared for it. Our investors started counting money, that my top employees started looking at villas and apartments in Hyderabad, and suddenly you came to know that the deal is not happening. And that was the biggest one because by then we had just 20 lakh rupees in the account and the rejection has already happened. And when you go to the market and talk to the existing investor also, because you are a rejected material suddenly, getting rejection from VC is different, but getting rejection in the acquisition is completely different. So that was another learning, that when we went after the deal to talk to the people, we realized that they're starting looking towards each other. There is something wrong in this company. Why is this deal has not gone through? Although it was a confidential deal, nobody knew about it, but generally people come to know about there is something happening here. So I think that was another big rejection and a setback which we saw in our journey. So as I said, initially our focus was SMBs, so 5,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees per month, 10,000 rupees per month. We had 2,000 clients. But then all these stories like people are not paying, collection is a big challenge in India, SMB SaaS business is still, India is not ready. And we realized that if we really continue like this, we'll keep on getting the customers, 100 customers a month, but there will be 70 which will not be paying and going out of the system every month. So we'll not really grow. So we pivoted again. That was another pivot from B2C to SMB platform and SMB to enterprise platform. So that pivoting we do, we said that we need to really build our product for enterprises who really has a money vision to really make big in the e-commerce space, omni-channel space. And that we did after 2012, that after that rejection from the acquisition, we really changed our gears and made a more enterprise platform. I think that was the turning point, and that all this thing was possible because of this team, because I think this is the biggest pillar of our success, because we never had big money, we never had big backings, we were all there was no one to back us, but still we could survive, gone through those hiccups and create a platform or a successful company. It's just because of this 150, 175 people. And I think, as I said, the first venture, the learning which I had, this time I made sure that I hire the right talent. So we had people from IIT, we had people from IIM, we have Google, Facebook, people left their jobs, joined us at a 1/3 salary, worked with us for 5 years, 6 years, without increments, without much of the financial benefits, and they stick together, even in the bad period. That was the most important period. Even after that rejection from the acquisition, we lost 2 senior guys out of 20. That was the big thing, because otherwise, in that kind of scenario, all your top management start getting shaky and leaves you. So this is the team. I think I give the credit of my successes, 8 out of 10 goes to this team, because I just started. After that, for last 9 years, I was just doing the fundraise and the corporate development of acquisitions and merger. I didn't really do any active contribution in the business except starting this company as a founder. What made us stay together? The team was a hope of building something valuable, building something great where our customers are happy, our investors are happy. So that hope of building something kept us together. Positive energy, I think that was the biggest strength of Marjack team. Even in the bad times, worst times, we could stay together just because of the positive energy of the overall team and the top management. And the trust. That was, I think, the biggest factor in our journey and our success story, because the kind of trust we had on each other, employee, the co-founders, even the investors. So just to share with you, all these 7 millions which I raised, there was not a single shareholder agreement. So almost 75 investors invested money in my company without signing a shareholder agreement. We know if somebody, you don't use a 5 lakh rupees loan or 10 lakh rupees loan, they make sure that all your properties and all your promissory notes, post-dated checks are taken. Although it was equity investment, it was a blind trust, and one person can trust. We saw that 75 people trusting us. And then apart from the 7 million, we had around 14-15 crores loan on the company, which I took personally. That loan also was given by people in Hyderabad and a couple of my friends. Was again, but they knew that I don't have any backing, I don't have any of properties where I can repay them. But that trust is something which made us stay together, our investors really to support us. So I think that was the most important factor. Then we scaled fast after 2012. That was a real growth. We had 50, 100 enterprise customers. We reached to a $5-6 million annual run rate kind of revenue, $5 million. And I think that was a 2012, 2015, we almost become profitable. We actually really started, we realized that there's nobody is going to fund us. That was a clear-cut understanding that we are not going to get funded. Let us build our own business, let's make it profitable. And that focus actually helped us further. And last year, September, our acquisition happened. So the Capillary, Singapore-based CRM company, they acquired us. So I treat it as a marriage because generally when you get acquired, it's like a marriage. So it was 8 months negotiation and all that stuff, but then the deal went through on September. As I said, this Capillary, this deal was funded by Warburg Pincus, which is one of the largest global VC. And then the Sequoia and Norway are already the investors in that company. Life after marriage, it's been 1 year. I think 4th of September we'll be completing 1 year of the first anniversary of the transaction. Nothing has changed except I don't have to go to the angel investors to raise money. That gives me 70% of the time. There is a money in the bank, so I don't have to worry about every monthly salaries. So I will just share something about that. So out of these 100 months, so there were 60-70 months, almost 60 months, where our salary used to be around say 60 lakh rupees. And on 5th, we used to make salary on 5th. That was the last date because that we used to get money from clients between 1, 2, 3. And on the 3rd, we used to have 8 lakhs or 10 lakhs. There's a huge gap between the payables and the salary which we had to pay. What used to happen, out of the 60 times, almost 55 times, we got some money on 5th. So in first 3-4 times, I was under a lot of pressure, tension, what will happen now? Because see, for us, 80% was our cost was employees, salaries, right? As a product company, there was nothing else. Office rent, electricity, telephone, and the rent. Major is this. So then I started getting the confidence, and even in Hindi they say, "Jhako rake saiya maar sake na koi." So if there is somebody who was supporting us, he used to stretch it further, and at the last moment, he used to leave it. Okay, on 5th we used to get money. So almost 55 times. Out of 60 times, we got money on 5th where the salaries were paid. So now I don't have to go through that tensions. Thankfully, the salary happens on 29th. That's a big change for me as well as all my team. People, we can travel. Earlier, we used to, every client visit also, we used to really plan 3-4 visits. Now we travel very openly. Fadapat hota hai client ka. I think those are some changes. Otherwise, business as usual, the integration has worked well, deal has worked well, both the companies have got benefited out of it. No attrition, we haven't lost a single senior profile even after the acquisition. Generally that happens in most of the deals. In our case, most of the team is with us. A couple of them have left recently, but because of their personal reasons, not for the acquisition reason. Awards and recognitions, I kept this slide blank because I think we got a couple of awards from HISA and all those things, but I don't want to talk about them because we were never in the limelight. Many of, even Hyderabadis don't know us, many media also don't know us. Now few of the people know us, but in the B2B business, non-funded company, no IIT, no IIM, so there was no tick marks were there, so media and all the guys were not interested in us. The biggest award and recognition which I personally feel is that we have brought a change in at least 300 to 400 people's life. So at least my 75 to 90 investors, they have made anything from 2x to 25x. I made brought some change in their life. My 300 to 500 customers who have really made some business out of my platform, they are the real award and recognition for us. And most importantly, my team, who really stayed with me, be a part of my struggle. So we made that at least there are 3-4 millionaires, 30-40 rupee crorepati's we created out of this transaction. We made sure that all the wealth which we created, 40 to 50% of that was distributed amongst our team. So on 4th September, when I saw those happy faces that this is also a reality of life, this happens in reality, that I think was the biggest award and recognition which I have earned in my 17 years of entrepreneurship. Rest, few lessons, I think dream big. Without that, nothing happens. You have to do that. Rejections is going to happen. You need to really take every rejection, learn out of it and fight. build trust, hire a class A team, don't compromise on that. And the final is entrepreneurship is a journey which is never going to finish. So already I have completed my first journey. I'm here. Might be people have already started asking me what's next. So might be in 2017 or 18 there will be another startup which might do. So entrepreneurship is never going to end. And it's an always doing journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. With interest of time, I'll only limit one person to ask a question, and I request you to keep it short, please.
Hello. Hello, sir. Thank you so much for all of us. Just a quick question. What, according to you, is the most important element to make a startup successful? Is it the timing? Is it funding? Is it the promoter? Is it the team? So what, according to you, is the most important element?
Yeah, I think there are multiple things contributing to that. It took me 17 years to build a success. So, and with a lot of ups and downs, more downs and very less ups. I think the fundamental thing which I feel, if I have to give, as I said, I will give that team. I think if you have a sound, solid, committed team, you can build a, then nothing can stop you. Because even if you look at our journey, we never were funded, we never had big money, but we could still pivot multiple times. The team stayed together. If I would have lost Nitin, my co-founder in technology, if I would have lost my co-founder Operation Kasliwal, I would not have been able to survive this. So what helped us, even in the bad and worst period where the electricity bill we're not in a position to pay electricity bill, our PF were pending for 7 months, there was non-bailable warrant would have come. That luckily they didn't come. Even that period, staying together and working together was the biggest asset. So I feel that if you have a good team which has a trust on each other, on capabilities of each other, that is the 50% of the thing is done. Rest, luck is very important. Again, I can tell you, luck is very important, and that has to support. 17 years that didn't support us, last it supported us. So that's it.
Thank you. Can I request Mr. Shrikant from Hyderabad Angels to hand over the memento to Mr. Abhay Deshpande as token of